Joining me now to discuss this is the former acting secretary of Homeland Security under President Trump, also Heritage Foundation visiting fellow. Please welcome Chad Wolf to the program. Chad, great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to get right to the heart of the matter here when they're talking about kids in cages and ripping kids from their families. They never really talk about unaccompanied minors, which is kids without their families. How big a challenge was that for you, and what are you seeing now on the border with what Joe Biden has created?
Well, it's a significant challenge. Anytime you have minors, what we call unaccompanied alien children, UACs, coming across that border, it's very difficult to care for them. And so we saw that back in 2019 when we had a crisis, but we were able to put a number of policies and procedures in place in 2019, in 2020, and got that crisis under control. And unfortunately, what we've seen with the Biden administration really since Inauguration Day is tearing down those policies with executive orders and other decisions, and have created a self-fueled crisis on that southwest border. So in the month of January, you mentioned you had about 5,800 UACs or minors or children coming across that border. That's 1,000 more than December, and that is the highest for the month of January in about a decade. And what we saw and heard earlier this week, there was a report saying that DHS is estimating by the month of May, in 1 month alone, you'll have upwards of 13,000 children. Because at the end of the day, the Biden administration, through policies, are facilitating and encouraging these individuals to come forward across that border illegally.
Unbelievable. And it seems to me that they're welcoming here with open arms. They know these open borders policies is going to flood the border and it's going to cause a big problem. They're not doing anything about it at all. For everybody at home, to send an unaccompanied minor to the United States, you're putting them in the hands of what, coyotes, possible sex traffickers? They make decisions, and those decisions do have consequences. True?
Absolutely. I think the parents, if you can imagine, if you're a parent, you are separating yourself from your child. And as you indicated, you're putting them in the hands of a smuggler, a trafficker, cartel, a coyote, whatever you want to call them. They're dangerous. It's going to cost you. And you're sending your child, and you're not sure what's going to happen to them at the end of the day. So we need to stop this. We need to stop the incentives. We need to look after these children. And by doing so, you can't just continue to turn a blind eye and hope that it stops on its own, because it doesn't. And unfortunately, this administration is not learning from the past. I wish they would listen to the law enforcement professionals at CBP and at ICE and elsewhere. They've been through this in 2019. We know what works. We know how to stop this. They just have to be willing to do it.
Do you think they don't care that this is really just about votes?
Well, I think a couple of things are at play here. One, the president campaigned on a number of decisions, or I would say policies, in the immigration space, and he's trying to deliver on that. Two, they're being pushed further and further to the left by special interest and by advocates. You can just tell by the recently introduced immigration bill. It is a wish list for all of those on the left, including amnesty, including court-appointed attorneys at taxpayer expense, and I could go on and on and on. We have seen a hard shift to the left when it comes to border security and immigration, and it's very concerning because what we're not talking about is actually security of the American people and the communities along that border. Instead, what we're talking about is how do we facilitate the flow of individuals coming into the country illegally and then releasing them into the interior of the country. And so the question is why? Why is that the position of the Democratic Party? And of course, potential voter block, I think, is in the back of everyone's mind. Of course, they don't say that, but that is certainly what a lot of people do believe.
Can I ask you, I know you and the team, President Trump, all worked hard to solve this problem on the border. What is it like to watch all of your hard work be totally unwound?
Well, it's quite heartbreaking. Yes, I did a lot of hard work, and a lot of folks at DHS did a lot of hard work. I think what is most concerning is the men and women of Border Patrol that are down there risking their lives every day. they need these tools. They need an effective border wall system. They need MPP. They need the asylum cooperative agreements. They need to have the ability to deport or to remove individuals. All of this is part of an enforcement mechanism that allows that border to work without it being in a crisis 24/7. So what I am most concerned about, and really what my heart breaks, is for the Border Patrol and the law enforcement men and women who are now having to deal with thousands of individuals that have no medical history, that have no paperwork, that have no identification. And you're in a COVID environment, and you're putting their lives at risk. And you're doing that not for the security of the American people. And that is what is most disconcerting.
Well, certainly we see politics at play here when it comes to this administration, putting that first over the safety and security of American citizens. Chad Wolf, I appreciate you coming on the program today. It's really great to have you. I hope we get you back again real soon.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.